Well, we're here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
It's July the 8th, 2025. And this is your Kilts Health team.
We don't know what's happening.
I'm Dr. Nelson. This is Alia. Please put in the chat where you're watching from. And
I'm going to get the giveaway worked out right now.
Yeah, I was going to grab my Kilts cup. I thought maybe today.
Oh, I should do a Kilts cup. It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
I was going to do hashtag cash because that was our name of our guest, but maybe we're having issues with time zones. So anyways, it'll be hashtag cash. Hashtag cash.
Sounds good to us.
Chance to win a Kilts cup.
And I see Brian.
Oh, here's Dr. Kilts.
IO Odyssey, Carnivore Jerry. Oh, multiple channels. Brisket Boomers, thank you for being here. Cheryl, Paul. And we have Dr. Kilts. How are you doing?
I'm here. Good morning. I've just had to check in my first patient for surgery.
Oh, okay.
I do surgery in about an hour. Having my hot water this morning.
Nice.
3 days, 3 of 14.
3 of 14, that's amazing.
I'm on day 3 of 14. Kind of crazy, but here I am.
You can do it.
With your help, I can do it. And everyone's help, I can do it.
We're going to cheer you on.
Yeah, we're all working together. That's really critical and important. Let's get the right. Let's turn. There we go. We got Kilts Mighty Tribe up. We gotta work on some coaching. Again, bringing in some volunteers from the KMT when we go to our meetings and even on our Monday lives that we can get some help and direction, which would be kind of cool and very nice. We call them the KMT something. We got Ray Cruz from North Carolina on KMT. Good morning, my brother. Great day, great day. Let's see. We hopefully have cash coming in this morning. Is that right?
I'm going to resend the link right now.
Yeah, send the link. That'd be good. Beautiful day in paradise.
Old Guy Carnivore is here.
Good morning, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch, let's send the link. Send a link out there. Get some people to come on in this morning. Now, I did load up my continuous glucose monitor, which I don't normally put on. And I hooked up the first one is the Stello, and it had me under 70 all night. And then it was 74 this morning or 72. It says it's, I don't know if you could see this, 76. And then I hooked up I was curious about the difference between the G7 and the Stello. It says I'm 91.
We are.
So I don't know.
I'm here.
Yay.
Cash, how you doing, brother?
I looked for the link last night and I found it and I could not find it this morning.
It happens.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm so excited.
Well, we're so glad to have you here for sure.
Where are you located? Where are you located, Cash?
I am in a very beautiful area, Red Wing, Minnesota. And this time of year, it's so beautiful here. Everything's green. We have 18 acres in the woods and lots of wildlife.
Wow.
And beautiful.
So we're doing hashtag cash.
We're doing hashtag cash for a Kilts cup.
Cool. It's easy to spell.
It is. I love cash.
Yeah.
Like the thing in my wallet.
That's right. Yeah. I always say my wife always has a couple 100 pounds of cash with her. It's just hard to spend sometimes.
Now, is that just a nickname or is that your given
Nope.
name?
Mom and dad gave me that for a middle name. My first name is Lyndon. I can hardly pronounce it, and everyone butchers it. And so Cash is really easy. And my whole life, I grew up being called Cash by family, friends. And so if you know me, you call me Cash. If you're wanting money or something like that, or if you're trying to sell me something, you're calling looking for Lyndon. He's probably not there. So, yeah.
Love
All
that.
right. I put hashtag cash and Kilt's Mighty Tribe. If you hashtag it and Kilt's wins, then I pick someone from KMT as the winner of a Kilt's Cup. And you go to kiltscups.com. You can buy your own cup or drkilts.com. And I've got more coming, by the way.
Yay.
All right. So,
What
do
about
we got?
Cash's
What do we got
story?
today?
What about Cash's story? How did he get here? Why did he end up on this live stream? What carnivore experience does he have?
So, Cash, go ahead and tell us about yourself and how you ended up here.
Okay. My story with carnivore started, I think it was December 18th or 19th, 2019. And something really big happened to the world right after that. It's when COVID started. And through probably the month of November, I had been watching some YouTube videos, and I ran across this guy named Dr. Ken Berry. And I'm one of those guys who can say, Dr. Berry saved my life. I watched the skin tag video. He had the skin tag video. Well, I've got skin tags. I've like Morgan Freeman, I've got skin tags. And I thought, well, of course, I want to know what the cause of that is. And Dr. Berry told me that day that I was on my way to diabetes. And that woke me up. I thought, oh no, I do not want that. I've already watched my dad lose his leg to this awful disease. So I knew what diabetes meant. And I knew I didn't want that. So the day I watched that video, the day I stopped eating carbs and I went to keto. He was talking about keto a lot during that time period. And in the next probably about 4 months, I wasn't trying to lose weight. I lost like 35 pounds. And in December that year, I thought I had Lyme disease. Everything in my body hurt. I was wearing a plantar fasciitis boot to go to bed because my feet hurt so bad. I had knee braces. I have an umbilical hernia. I cut a tennis ball. I cut a tennis ball in half, put half the tennis ball on my umbilical cord area, and put a compression belt around that. So I just felt like I was falling apart. I was 57 years old and felt like I had to eat every 2 hours. And I had just been through 40 years of carrying antacid with me everywhere I went. I couldn't leave the house without antacid.
Wow.
And just that constant brain fog. 4 months, all that was gone. And shortly thereafter, I switched over to carnivore because Dr. Berry started talking about carnivore. But I was just shocked at how good I felt. And then, so this started in December. A month into it, I had to beg my world famous local Minnesota healthcare provider, I'm not going to say their name, I had to beg them for an A1C test because I heard Dr. Berry say, get your A1C tested. So I did. A month in, it was 5.9. And that's right in the pre-diabetic range. So I think when it started, I was probably well over 6.
Yeah.
And then 4 months later, I got another A1C test. I had a 5.1 A1C. So I have become the carnivore evangelist. And I've been talking for 5 years to any guy who will give me 2 minutes to talk to him. And part of the story is I'm in people's homes every day for the work I do. I meet new people every day. I'm in the nicest homes there are to the poorest homes that there are. And I'm helping people solve problems. So I get to meet a lot of people. So I start talking to them about, I've always talked to people about faith. I'm over 40-year Christian, and I know that life throws some hard stuff your way, and it might be health, it might be money, it might be relationships. Life throws hard stuff your way, and I know, Dr. Kiltz, you started in a tough neighborhood, in a tough way, and you know firsthand how things can be. And some families, just the only thing they know is hard. So I'm in homes trying to encourage people with faith, but now I realize there are so many parallels between faith and food. Faith and food. Your body, I think, needs both to operate. I don't think you can be a complete human without faith and the proper food. When you know that, you experience it, you just want to share it with everyone. And so I'm the annoying guy who talks to random strangers at the gas station about what they eat, and maybe about their faith, and maybe about politics. I talk to the three rails that people don't want to talk about. That's the first thing I like to talk about. So I'm just born different. I'm born different. So my dad was an auctioneer when we were growing up, so I was always in front of people. I'd be in front of a couple hundred people about 5 nights a week. And so I've always been comfortable. Some people say fear of speaking in public is right up there with death for them. They'd rather die than have to speak in public. I'm not that guy. But yeah, carnivore. The first year of eating low carb, I realized there's like a million ways to screw up on keto. And I started to see the cauliflower pizza and the almond milk and the different things. I was trying some of those things, and I was feeling so much better, but then I would try some of these plant-based things marketed as keto, and the pain would come back immediately, all the joint pain. And on keto, I was eating what I would call it is inflammation keto. I was eating lots of kale and spinach and almonds, and I could see that there's just keto got me started, and I'm thankful for keto. But you have to really understand what it is, and carnivore is so simple. I like simple things in life that work. I like having success in things, and carnivore is so simple. It's life changing. So go ahead. Yeah.
What does your family think about it?
It's like every family. Just to give you an example, some people understand it a little bit. Everyone is curious about it, but I think it takes hitting a brick wall for some people to change. I have a brother. I'm the oldest of 5. One of my younger brothers had a stroke a few months ago, and I've been talking to him about this. And his wife is not on board. She's bought into the plant-based stuff, and doesn't even want me to talk to him about it. And I know it's the path to healing. So
Brainwashed. Just
Yeah,
brainwashed. Our brothers and sisters are brainwashed that don't understand the power of carnivore in Christ.
Exactly.
Well, we keep sharing it. We're evangelists in the way.
Exactly. I can't wait for your book, Christ Carnivore. I'm curious what you have. I want to see that. I invented a word last year, and the word I invented is intra-evangelist. And an entrepreneur and an evangelist are both trained to do the same thing. If you think about it, an evangelist is there to bring some good news to somebody to change their life. A true entrepreneur is there to serve people, to help people solve problems that they don't know they have. And an entrepreneur can only be an entrepreneur if he's serving other people. The evangelist is serving other people. So I combine those two things. If you train your child to be an entrepreneur or an evangelist, they're set up for some of the most important tools in life because they're there to serve other people. I think God made us to be in community. That's why I'm part of the Kilt's Mighty Tribe. God made us to be in community to build each other up. Life is hard. Life is hard. One of the things I experienced is I started a small town print shop when I was 22 years old. I ran it in the small town in Iowa for 15 years. In that town was the juvenile correctional facility for boys. Okay. They begged me to work there for 4 years and to be a graphic arts instructor. I kept saying, no, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a teacher. They begged me. I was on their printing advisory board because they had trouble keeping somebody there. And I taught there for a number of years. And I realized for some of those boys, the safest place they'd ever lived was behind bars, locked up, because their families were so toxic and so hard. And being a man of faith during that time, I thought, how can I connect with these guys and just equip them to let them know there's something better out there in life than what they've experienced? So I studied mindset, and I studied how people think, and I studied how do you help somebody have a total paradigm shift from all they know to just like this new way of living, this life-changing. That's the same for carnivore. It's the same for carnivore. And I just can't keep on that.
Trying to come up with the term that keto is comfort, and carnivore is, what's that word we fill in?
It's the cure for one thing.
It's the cure. But ultimately, you're right. Hard is actually what we're born for.
Right.
But we've been convinced that it's supposed to be easy.
Right. Right. Life is going to be hard.
Yeah.
But we can make it easy up here.
Yeah.
Up here. I've been through really hard stuff in life. When I was 30 years old, I had my house completely paid for. That was a big victory for me. So I've had that glass half full. But then I've also gone through the experience of having a house repossessed and a car repossessed and going through divorce and losing people around you to suicide and things like that.
Yep.
My faith strengthened me, but carnivore is taking that faith and like multiplied it. It's added leverage to it and power to it in a new way I've never experienced in my life before. When you have a clear brain, God speaks to us all the time. I truly believe that. I think he's always trying to get our attention. Our problem is we don't recognize his voice. Carnivore is like pulling the wax out of your ears to the spiritual realm, because your body's trying to talk to you. God's trying to talk to you too.
Well, I say he's always talking to us.
Always.
And everything that happens to us is his work in order to guide us and strengthen us and train us in this beautiful world we live in.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I think if you study the human body, there's a creator. It's a miracle that we can even live for 2 minutes. Every day is a miracle. And you experience new life every day in your work. That's a miracle. And so I believe that God made every one of us on purpose. There was a saying back in the 80s, God don't make no junk. God don't make no junk. He gave us all bodies that are a miracle. And these bodies are trying to keep us alive. And what do we need? Dr. Kiltz, is it around 4 grams typically of glucose to sustain life for most humans? About 4 grams of glucose?
I don't know.
Yeah, a U.S. nickel is 5 grams. A U.S. nickel is 5 grams. Our government is telling us we can eat 200, 300, 400 grams. So picture how heavy a roll of nickels is. Now, if I throw a nickel at you, one nickel, if I throw it at you really hard, it might sting a little bit, right? But if I take 3 rolls of nickels and knock you upside the head, that's going to hurt. We're doing that to this beautiful body every day, and we're destroying ourselves from the inside. And I think we do that with our faith too, when we don't recognize that God's trying to talk to us all the time, every day. He's got purpose for each of us.
We just don't know it at the moment. Then we
Right.
go like, oh, you were there all along, right?
All along. Yep.
All along. I love it.
I meet a lot of young people, a lot of young parents in my work, and I tell young parents, you have the most important job on the planet. You are raising our future. You're raising the kids they are our future. And so we have to be really intentional about helping these young people. I can't see it.
It's Julia with a G.
Oh, okay.
My grandson, 4 months.
Oh, great. That's awesome. I got to meet a granddaughter for the first time about a week ago. She's from California. I got to see one of my granddaughters the first time. Our future is precious. It's people. It's people. Babies are the future. And we have to be responsible in raising them to recognize their purpose in this life. And that purpose comes from God. And I think we haven't trained ourselves or our kids or been trained to explore that purpose. God, in Ephesians 2:10, it says that God has plans for us before we were even born. That tells me we're valuable and we have purpose. Our job is to explore that. And you have to, I'm sorry. You have to explore and mine that purpose like you're digging for gold. There's something precious there. We have to find that. And carnivore cleared my brain up enough to finally make sense of some things in life. I felt for about 15 years like God was calling me to teach. And every time I feel like I'm supposed to teach, I'm resistant. I don't know why. But I know that's what I was made for. That was what I was called for. But why do I resist that so much? You know? I think God wants us to find that purpose and that calling and mine it out and pursue it and develop it. And carnivore clears the brain so you can do that. It gives you your whole brain.
Carnivore clarity.
Carnivore clarity. Yeah.
I integrated much more meditation, prayer in my practice of medicine 25 years ago. Mindset, meditation, prayer, acupuncture, massage, yoga, and then when I found carnivore, it all became even more clear. And carnivore is clarity.
It is clarity.
Yeah, and I always say that really we're poisoned by plants, and no more on carnivore.
No
more on carnivore. Poisoned by plants, no more on carnivore. And it's radical. I have to do these exams every year to certify for my boards, and I read these articles in my standard scientific approach, which lists through all the diseases, the diagnostic methods, and then the drugs to treat them. Which there's no conversation about carnivore yet, because it's our job to do the work, not ask for government or anyone else to do the work. I'm not here to force the government. You got to do this or this. We're creating and sharing a community like Christ went out, and we became evangelists, and we came out to share the good news every day. And this is radical so much, right? It's all about our children and the future, and poisoned by plants is as simple as that. I think in some ways we focus too much on carbs and sugar. It's so simple. fatty meat, salt water, 1 meal a day, faith in God, and we're simply poisoned by a plant low animal fat diet. Done.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm seeing that more clearly every day. I think it's such a big mind shift to come to terms with that when
Yeah.
we've grown up gardening and eating the breakfast cereal since we were little kids and bread. And so now I ask everybody, I walk up to people, any stranger, I ask them this. So have you heard of low carb, keto, or carnivore before? And almost everybody nowadays will say, oh yeah, I've heard of keto or low carb, or I know Atkins diet. And then I ask the next question I ask them is, in the last couple days, have you eaten bread, rice, potatoes, uh, cereal? Have you eaten any of that stuff? And they're like, oh yeah, I eat that every day. And I start to talk to them about, you don't need that. The A1C, God gave us this body that's trying to keep us alive. The A1C goes like this, flat line your whole life, and then all of a sudden there's that big spike. And what happens then? We're diabetic. And then all the bad stuff starts happening. But I tell guys who are 25, 30, 50 years old, all that time that blood sugar is perfect like this and nobody's worried, your insulin's been going like this for decades. And nobody's going to tell you about it until you can't feel your feet or until something else is going on or you have that heart attack. But
the insulin is not the cause of disease.
No, it's not.
It's not one bit.
No.
It is the plants, which are poisonous, and a low-fat diet. A protein-centric diet is deadly.
Deadly. I believe it's deadly.
Fatty meat. That should be our direction. Fatty meat, salt and water, 1 meal a day, faith in God, and go do something today. Go to work every day. Do you think in some way, Cash, we work to convince people you should make a lot of money and then retire early and work? Oh, you're working too hard. You shouldn't go to work. You should work only 2 days a week. Are we lying to people?
Yeah.
Imagine if you don't know how to hunt and gather, you're dead.
Right. And that's a nonstop process. That's you know,
don't get up and go hunting, right? Or
right.
gathering.
Right. In you think carnivore, you think of a bow and arrow, you think hunting, right? To shoot a long distance, you need to aim higher. That's how it is in life too. You have to aim higher to shoot long distance. Babies are all about the longest distance. They're generational. And to get through this day, if you're a carnivore, you probably had to wake up early, get out and do something you didn't want to do in conditions you didn't want to do it in, just to stay alive. But now we have other challenges, and the same principles apply. To do the thing that's going to last generations, you have to put aside a little bit of your immediate comfort for that long-term gain. And I'll put away the comfort of eating donuts and cheesecake and all those things that I used to lie. I didn't think I could live without. You put that aside.
And I think I've got Steve Marks. I said, together we conquer. And he says, lead by example. And ultimately if it's hard and it hurts, it's the right direction. Mm-hmm. And over time, you realize the great abundant the things that come to us in life through hardness and conquering our fears are so critical. And somehow faith, fasting, fatty meat, and Kilt's Mighty Tribe will lead the way, along with Dr. Nelson and Alia.
Yep.
And each and every person here today, by the way. Each and every person. So one of the most important things, I got kicked out of school after some juvenile delinquent things as an adolescent. in a gang, couldn't read, headaches, migraines, bowel problems, all anxiety, depression. But the one thing they did was put me in the front of the class when I went to my new school. And that one single thing and showing up every day changed my life. I began to see a different world. My brain began to analyze, but to be filled. And then wood shop, electric shop, metal shop, ceramics class, auto mechanic shop, all put me to work. And through work, you begin to meet and greet, but you also feel and know the benefits of that workout every single day.
That's where I was at that correctional facility. I was in the vocational training program.
Yeah.
And I was mentored by the residential wiring instructor. He was helping kids who had nothing in life. He was giving them a trade. And then I was mentored also by the guy who taught small engine repair. He's giving those young men skills so they can have confidence in life that you can get out of here. You can get a paycheck. You can support a family. And those building tools, we're meant to build and create and make the environment we're in better every day for everyone around us. And I have this philosophy on life. You don't get to opt out of being a leader. We are all leaders. And here's what I mean by a leader. Your life is either such a train wreck and disaster that people are running away from you, so you're leading them away from something, or your life is so just magnetic that people are drawn to you. That's a different form of leadership. We're all leaders. People are around us. Our families around us. They're observing us. They're seeing our attitude. They're seeing our successes in whatever we're doing, and we're seeing how we deal with failure. Right now, I'm in the middle of a failing business right now. The environment changes. Things get hard. I've been here before. I've been self-employed my whole life. And obstacles come. You work through them. You just chip away at them. And those trade classes when you were young, they teach you how to just feel equipped to deal with obstacles and to create something good out of just a pile of wood or a lump of clay, something useful. And we all need to believe that.
In the 10th grade high school in Los Angeles, I went to John Marshall High School in the Los Feliz area, and I couldn't get into a Spanish class. It was full. So I took a ceramics class, and that was my first connection to really getting into art, which was really great. And Mrs. Wong centered me. She taught me how to throw on the wheel, and I was very good at it. And then I took jewelry classes, and I did all the other auto mechanic and print shop, and then in junior college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I did painting, calligraphy, pottery, and I worked at the Broadway department store in Hollywood, and that taught me service. That was after Dodger Stadium, by the way, Nelson. But I think working in service to others, but we failed. I was great at math, but I failed some math classes. I didn't go, or I didn't care at one point. And hardship builds a strong ship. And ultimately, we're born with everything and nothing, and we die with everything and nothing. It's all a matter of mindset to see the abundance of what you have inside, rather than thinking it's supposed to be all the stuff.
I think, don't you think that the major part of carnivore and recovering your health is mental? It's all up here.
Yeah.
I think it's more than anything else. It's this battle that goes on up here, and you can conquer it. And when you do, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
It carnivore clarity.
Yep.
Carnivore takes away the heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine in the plants, and coffee, tea, whiskey, wine, beer of any significance or frequency is deadly for us. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the mindset is the master. I tell people, I don't care what diet you eat, but when you get to the mindset, you'll be better. But when you go carnivore, it conquers the demons, the masters of your misery, in essence, right?
Mhm.
And that's why I voraciously read and listen to books and listen to blogs and watch movies like Vikings and Game of Thrones. It's our battle and overcoming. That's what we're here to do, right? Or
Right.
Gladiator 2.
When I was a graphic arts instructor, I realized a lot of the boys would come into that class feeling like the world is pushing them around and like they didn't have agency. They weren't in control of their lives. Like the system did me in, or my friends narked on me, and they were always blaming everything in their lives on something external. And I realized I had to help them have psychologically, it's called an internal locus of control. You have to feel like you have some empowerment from within. And so I've been working on this a number of years. I'm writing a book on one word, and the word is control. And I tell everybody, all forms of external control are straight from hell. So addictions control people, bad government controls people, bad relationships are built on control. We are not supposed to control any other human. The rapist and the murderer control people. Bad government controls people. We are here to be free people and support everyone else's freedom. And the external controls, those addictions, we have to break off all the external controls and live in freedom, whether it's from freedom from an addiction or a bad relationship or a bad government. We're meant for freedom. We're built for freedom and control. I just got hooked on this word control, and food as an addiction controls people to the grave.
Well, plants are organisms that know how to control and kill us. They domesticate us. Lions are not domesticated of any easy simplicity. They're hard to control. But
they're free.
Cows, sheep, and many other organisms that are plant-based are easier to control. And ultimately, the three magic words, I am, fill that last word, whatever you say, it is true. And the control is always in the mind, but the plants, think about it, bacteria, yeast, and viruses talk to us, right? As they say, right?
Right.
Well, so do plants.
Mm-hmm.
But they not only talk to us, they're always whispering. Every negative thing you think comes from the plants, the microbes, and the insects.
Dr. Kiltz, I'd like to jump in now because we released a video this morning called Food Addiction. So everyone should go watch that right after the live stream. Go check out the food addiction panel for Meatstock. We have a couple questions that we should get to. We have three questions for Cash. Baris.carnivore, please mention also your uric acid levels because all vegans think red meat increase uric acid, smiley face.
For me, I have no clue. I've had two A1C tests the first 4 months of keto. I knew I was on track. I know how I feel. I know how many belt loops have gone away, and I know the energy I have. I'm not worried about that. But I do believe in testing. Right now it's not in my budget. I do want to get a full panel just to see where I'm at. So,
well, no other organism tests. No other organism eats cooked food. No other organism asks, what are your levels? So we do it for a little entertainment. So on my 14-day fast, I'm measuring my weight. I should do my waist. I'm measuring my stamina. I'm measuring my glucose levels and daily insulin levels, just for the entertainment. I don't do it because I really care so much, but it adds to a little bit. But what if? My theory is that insulin is a digestive hormone or enzyme. It's not to regulate your blood sugar. It only
No,
goes
it's not.
up when you eat. That is
I,
it.
I think you're right. I've listened to you in a lot of your other interviews, and not a lot of other people are talking about that. The insulin is just, it's along for the ride. It's like the cholesterol in the bloodstream. It's there for a different purpose. And I think constant sugar poisoning is what we're dealing with, and sugar comes from plants. All carbs are sugars, and they all mostly come from plants.
Well, sugar, the glycobiome, the glycocalyx, are for glycosylation, which is just one of the post-translational modifications of proteins. Proteins are not as important as people think. It's a glycolipoprotein, or a methylated protein, or a phosphorylated protein, in order to have its proper shape, charge, water solubility, hydrophilic, hydrophobic, pH. That really, it's kind of simple. Most of this stuff is too complicated for me. I'm not that smart, in my opinion. But if you don't eat for a month and you're 300 pounds, you easily survive. But if you're 80 pounds or 100 pounds, not so easy. I generally lose 1 pound a day. I do my normal work. I do my walking, my weights. I go to work. I operate. Nothing changes when I don't eat. I don't go like, oh my God.
Right.
And it is something, that mindset is powerful. But when you are off the plants, which are, I think, we're built to be hyperphagic. We're built to gorge, because 50,000 years ago, when you found edible food, you ate it.
You ate it.
And you got gorged on it, so you made fat so you can live for another week, 2 or 3.
Right.
It really is simple.
Yep.
Not so hard. What is your, go ahead, Cash, you speak, and then I'll ask a question.
I feel like our medical community, in some ways, when it comes to diet and metabolism, it's like they're still in the dark ages. If we just listen to our bodies are trying to tell us what to do to stay alive. And we don't need all the experts. So
they're doing a great job. You're right. Ultimately, look, we go into the profession to help people, but what we've learned, we simply are diagnosticians, to diagnose and then figure out if I can treat it or send them to someone else to treat it. But rarely did I ever ask any details about your diet, because and I was a nutritional biochemical major in undergrad at USC. And listen, I think most of the science we've learned is wrong, and we need to unlearn even all this stuff about glucose and insulin resistance. And I think mostly it's wrong, and it's too complicated the way we teach it.
mm-hmm.
Is eating sugar in and of itself from time to time deadly for you?
No.
Are there sugars in meat?
Yes.
100%. So
Yep.
when we use the term carbohydrate, we got to be careful. I have no idea what that means. I mean, nobody eats a carbohydrate, a protein, or a fat. They eat cells from organisms. These cells contain fats, sugars, amino acids, minerals, and vitamins, and all those things. But it's our current story in some way. Are there always ketones in your bloodstream?
I would have to think yes.
Always.
We're born in ketosis, right?
Right, but ketones are always there. They're never not there. Our body is always in autophagy. The real difference is how much inflammation is going on, which is mostly related to a plant protein, low-fat diet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And overcooked meat.
Yeah. I'm trying to graphically show people. I want to draw something out, and when I used that archery picture before, to aim long, you have to aim higher. I think we all come into this new carnivore paradigm at a different stage. We might be a different age. We might have a different amount of damage. We might have, all these other things. There's a way to recover that faster. And so that's to aim higher. And to aim higher is to cut out more and more plants. So I'm making like a carnivore ballistics calculator. I want to graph people out. How fast do you want to recover your health? Well, then that's how few plants you need to eat. So what are you going to aim at? Do you want total health recovery, or you just want to limp along for another couple decades and hope you don't have a heart attack? If you want to eat 100 grams of carbs a day or 200, it's better than 400, but it's not going to get you there as fast as you want. So I want to illustrate how aim higher, and higher is the closer we get to basically the lion diet or something like that.
Well, who's at the pinnacle of organisms in our environment? Lions, not sheep.
Right.
I already did.
Right.
I already saw her, talked to her an hour ago. Thanks.
Certain animals are just designed to be food, like rabbits and sheep and buffalo.
And chicken, fish, turkey, and rabbits are not fatty enough, and I don't eat them with any significant frequency. They can be. Again, if you go carnivore, those are better than a high plant-based diet. And if you're going to eat plants, cook them well, add the fat, eat less frequently. That's why I go to 1 meal a day and 2 to 3 days of fasting a month and 5 to 7 quarterly. And because emptying the gut is truly the only fast. If your gut is not empty of food, you are not truly fasting.
That makes perfect sense. I think we have this huge focus on the gut biome right now too. And to me, it just looks like you're just feeding the plant fibers, and plant fiber is undigestible stuff. So it's mostly cellulose. Well, newspaper is cellulose. Plywood is cellulose. If you want fiber, just eat some cardboard or paper or plywood. If you want cellulose, and so the gut biome is feeding that stuff, and everybody's so hung up on gut biome. I don't think it's going to take them where they need to go. It's like the cancer doctors thinking that all the answers are in our DNA. I don't think it is. I think it's in what we eat.
Well, our DNA says you're a lion, not a sheep. So that means you should be eating meat. You're a land animal, not a water animal or an air animal. So put your feet on the ground, get barefoot, go out in the sunlight. My good friend Lisa Wiedemann, carnivore doctor, says, get rid of the sunglasses. I do mostly, by the way. And ultimately, the microbiome. What bacteria, yeast, or virus or other parasite would you like in your bloodstream?
Prefer none. But
none. So are they all over our skin? Yes.
All over. Yep.
When we eat food, are they all inside of our gut?
But Dr. Kills, do you have the right bacteria over your skin?
I have no idea. I mean, it's kind of like the right meat or the wrong meat, right? The right day, wrong day. I think you're right. I mean, I don't know what it is. One day it's right, one day it's wrong. You married her, but then one day she left you. Okay. Or you left her or him or whatever it is, right? It's right 1 minute and it's wrong the next. Same thing with bacteria, yeast, and viruses and parasites. They're everywhere. That doesn't mean they're good for you.
Right.
I think the microbes are actually the killers. That when you eat a high plant, low animal fat diet, you're feeding them. You're feeding them. They proliferate. They go up the esophagus, into the lungs, upper respiratory, into the brain, everywhere, out the rectum, anus, into the vagina, the bladder, the prostate, the pelvis. It damages everything. So everyone with chronic pelvic pain is truly suffering from a plant protein, low animal fat diet. If you eat fat, butter, but unpasteurized, raw butter, raw meat, raw fat, you will actually reduce the microbes. A low fat diet, that's why all the lean meat everyone buys is not good, is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Fields, we got another question from Marcy Me. Cash, do you have social media accounts?
Yes, I do. So I'm on X, and I printed this out, but I can't read it. Let's see. Just a sec. Actually, I have these. This helps. Uh, Cash Growth, Groth 20495. That's on X, but I'm on YouTube mostly. I only have 3 carnivore videos. It's at Carnivore Cash. But last year, uh, I made 128 episodes of a faith-based podcast on YouTube. It's called Nobody's Fault Podcast. I did that for practice. I feel like God's been calling me to teach for over 15 years, and I kept asking God this question. I said, teach what to who? Okay, fine. You want me to teach? I'll teach. But teach what to who? Teach what to who? I did those 128 episodes where I read a chapter of the Bible every day for 5 days a week as discipline on habits and learning how to communicate, learning how to speak. So I am on social media. I have 2 YouTube channels, at Carnivore Cash and then at Nobody's Fault Podcast. So in that podcast, there's a, I was going to show you my phone, but I'm looking at it. I have a notes app in my phone, and with the clarity, the carnivore brain clarity, this crazy thing happened is I think I've accidentally written like 20 or 30 books. And so I started organizing my thinking. And in the Nobody's Fault podcast, I introduce in different episodes a lot of those ideas that eventually are going to turn into books. And I wanted to bring up one more thing. Dr. Kiltz and I have something unique in common. Dr. Kiltz said he had a 104-year-old grandmother. Well, guess what? I've had 2 104-year-old grandmothers. And on my Nobody's Fault podcast, I interviewed my 104-year-old grandma last year. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. 20 plus years ago, I did a podcast called Mind, Body, Smile. And I wrote daily inspirations, which led to my book.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
how many books have you put together?
7 or 8, something like that.
My goal is to do 100 books in 10 years. I already have 30. It's easy. It's easy. Carnivore brain clarity is the only way that's even remotely possible. So I've been as I'm pursuing my purpose, as I'm minding my purpose. God says, I want you to teach. I'm like, teach what to who? I write down the patterns in the notes and I interlink them all together. So you come up with things like the Entrevangelist, or you write 10,000 pages of stuff about one word, the word control. Crazy things happen when your brain is clear and you actually come up with books. So I can't wait for the Christ Carnivore book. I want to be the first one to get a copy of that.
Well, I'll make sure you get a copy soon.
Cash,
Yeah.
I have this question, and we haven't answered this, right, Alia?
Which one? The one
Don
that's here?
Smith, yeah.
No, we haven't answered that one yet.
Interested to know what Cash does that puts him in people's homes
Oh, sorry.
to solve problems.
I fix and sell household appliances like washers, dryers, stoves. And so a lot of my customers are landlords, property investors, and they send me into, I'm in some of the worst neighborhoods there are in the Twin Cities one part of the day. And then I'm in the nicest homes in other parts of Southeast Minnesota, country homes that have ponds and horses and stuff. And so I get to meet the most interesting people every single day. And I'm in their home and I talk to them about those 3 things that nobody wants to talk about: food, faith, and politics. And I jump right in. Nobody beats me to a conversation about faith. I have these fast, easy ways of bringing it up. So I have a philosophy in life. Our purpose, we're supposed to pursue purpose. Our purpose is really simple. Do it with me here. Bring, it's 5 words. Bring glory to God today. Bring
Simple.
glory to God today. BGTGT. Bring glory to God today. That's your purpose. He made you to interact with someone. You have to find that someone. It might be one person. Your life might be about one person, but it might be about 1 million. You don't know. So as you pursue your purpose and you spread positivity to everyone you encounter, you're bringing glory to God. And you're supposed to do it every day, all day, every day. Bring glory to God today. It's really simple. Your purpose is so simple. Why am I here?
Which
Bring glory to
means
God today.
bringing glory to yourself and others, because God is all of us. We are the gods. God is built within all of us. And when you understand and honor God within yourself and everyone in the world, that's the best we can do every single day.
God don't make no junk.
God, but think about junk. It's material to make something else. We're just fertilizer. I think that's God. Don't make no junk. When we think about junk, we think about toss it away, but there's always someone to pick it up and use it for something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in Los Angeles, the Watts Towers, a guy just took all the junk and he built these towers and he built art. And so ultimately, God don't build no junk. He makes only masterpieces, saying that each and every one of us is a masterpiece. I don't care wherever you are in this world, you are the master and creator of the universe within each of us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's our gift today?
It's a Kilts cup.
Kilts cup.
Hashtag Kilts.
Any
Cash.
other finishing up
Hashtag cash.
question?
We have 2 more questions, but I just want to make sure about your time, Dr. Kilts, because I know you have to go.
Questions.
Here we go.
Questions.
Last question fast. Cam's dad. Do you think a histamine rash is normal, more or less? I'm going off coffee starting today. I've done it before and didn't miss coffee. Just warm drink in my hands. Alternative, I said bone broth. Alternative to coffee.
Warm, hot water.
I'm
That's what you're
drinking warm
drinking?
hot water with a little salt. It's great. You don't have to drink anything personally, but I don't, again, labeling what happens like a rash. I mean, I get bites and rash time to time. I put a little lard on there, tallow, sometimes an antibiotic if it really starts getting welty and red. But a lot of this is, I mean, ultimately think about coffee. We line up for coffee, tea, whiskey, wine, and beer. They've got us addicted.
Yep. External control.
Is all external control for someone else's. They want your cash in their cash.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we need far less. Less is best.
One more question.
Yep. Daniela says, friends, anyone can help me. What do you guys do during Lent? As Christian Orthodox, the priest, she clarified, said, I cannot have any animal products during Lent. What is your take on this? And she's been carnivore for some months now.
How long is Lent?
40 days.
40 days.
And does it say you can't
and
eat?
it's already passed, by the way, but I believe she said any animal, but I believe you can have fish, you can have eggs,
seafood.
And ultimately it's a good time to fast. Maybe you need 40 days of fasting.
Jesus endured 40 days of fasting, and at the end it said he was hungry.
Are we going for 40 days, Dr. Kilts?
I think Dr. Kilts is doing 14 days.
Not according to my current weight.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
40 days of fasting would put me at about 110.
Not good.
102,
No,
115.
it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It's not going to be a linear weight loss.
Oh, I have found that it is, because no matter what, your body's metabolic system, again, I'm not stopping work. As long as I do my standard stuff, I lose 1 pound a day. And that's what most animals have, a very linear. Now, if in fact you begin to hibernate, or you nest, then your weight will begin to drop, because at some point it's going to say, hey, your energy drops. You got to rest when you get way down to too low of a fat level. So hit the button, Alia. Don't wait.
Let's
Just
do
hit
it.
it. Just hit it. Cool.
Stevie Wood, congratulations. Woo! You just won a Kilts Cup. Please email me at alia@drkilts.com, your address and your phone number, and we will get that shipped to you. I am putting in the chat.
All right, all.
All right.
Cash, you're rocking. What's the book?
I'm working on my first little booklet. It's My Favorite Carnivores. And I want to make this as a tool for carnivores to hand out to their family. And it's going to have links, QR codes to all of our favorite carnivores, like Dr. Kilts and Dr. Berry and Dr. Baker. And I want to make this little booklet. So I grew up as a Christian. Christians hand out lots of paperwork, right? You would call them tracts or something. This is a carnivore tract.
I love it. Resources and sharing.
Yep.
I mean, we're carnivore evangelists, because you want to evangelize and preach this. Don't hold back to your doctor, your family, your friends, or anyone. You have to keep sharing it. Don't take it personally if they ridicule you or reject. You just love them, stand still, and you're right. Here's an idea. I know I didn't believe it either. Maybe.
Yep. I just can't sit by and watch somebody drown. I got to reach out.
We're there to help them. That's correct.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Right. But remember, Jesus sent the boats, the helicopters, the fire department to save them. And then they drowned. They got to heaven, and God said, I sent you all the help, but you rejected it.
Yep. Sometimes you got to reach up sometimes.
You get right on. We grab by the hand and we help. So that's why we never reject. We're always there. We keep sharing the story, because we know with time, at the end of the day, everyone says, thank you, God. I love you. Even if they rejected them years before, because that's the entry into heaven. Dr. Nelson, what do we have this afternoon?
Cindy, she's gonna forgive me, please, if she's here. I don't know. I forget how to pronounce her last name, but Cindy Dimanche.
Awesome. Great. Cash, we'll keep following, get you on our carnivore conversations. Love that. Let's share it together. Christ and carnivore is the way. So Ali will help schedule that. And if anyone else wants to be part of one of our interviews, or you want me to be interviewed, or Dr. Nelson or Alia at drkilts.com, send it in. And I think we should have one day a week where we just put out our link, and we invite more people in to be part of the conversation. Cash, God bless you, my brother. Alia and Dr. Nelson, have a great day.
Have a good day.
Kilts Mighty Tribe. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Goodbye.